Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is consciously not creating. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote them a few years ago, and the world has completely changed since then. So if I encounter anything that is out of date, I will give you the most recent information, and at the end, I will summarize the topic based on what's going on in the world today. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Consciously not creating. It's okay just to drop things and just be. Yesterday, I was on an airplane and remembered all the things I used to do to manifest a good trip. I have techniques for blessing the journey's timeline and even for shortening the duration. The problem with all these techniques is that you can get overly burdened with trying to control every aspect of your reality. On the airplane, I realized I dropped all of that, and my main focus in the moment was whether to watch a movie. Although I never saw them, I'm assuming there was a pilot and a co-pilot flying the plane, an engine running the machine, and air traffic controllers keeping track of things. It was kind of a relief to let them do their jobs. It was kind of a relief to be on the plane, disconnected from my cell phone and the internet as well. Everything else I'm to be responsible for had to wait. If someone died or something snafu'd, it was out of my hands. I got to turn it over. Turn it over to what? Turn it over to other people to do their jobs, to a higher power or an intelligence greater than my little self trying to run things. If someone dies, it's their time to go. Other people's lives are entirely up to them. When it comes to children, it's an interesting mix. You have a little body who needs help eating and dressing or transportation to school. So on that level, you're responsible for their welfare. But as an infinite being, they're in charge of their life and their storyline. Another way of viewing it is that their journey through life is between them and their higher power. It can still be challenging to let them go when they're older. My youngest is on his college's junior year abroad and have just left Turkey when political unrest and an earthquake occurred. He's roaming through Africa and India since then, creating all sorts of experiences and memories. His road trip is a lot more expanded than the one I could ever have imagined. I'm currently caring for my mother who has Alzheimer's and lung cancer. A mixed blessing, as she doesn't remember she has either of them. And she creates all sorts of excitement when I go out of town. I'm doing the best I can to provide a safe space for her in her final months, the best quality of life with the least amount of discomfort. That's my intention, and I can set things up for that to happen. And what really unfolds is her creation as an infinite being between her and her higher power. For the rest of the weekend, I'm turning it over to home health aides, neighbors, and relatives, taking a break to consciously not create and just be. So it's really interesting because I read this and I suddenly went, oh, wait. This is from a time when my mother was dying. And for the last 6 years, I have flown every month, even during the pandemic, back and forth to New York. My brother had a stroke, and I ended up being there to help out because my sister-in-law is working two jobs and there wasn't the money to pay for aides. And he's become more independent since then. And just when I saw the end in sight, she got diagnosed with breast cancer. So it's been a roller coaster ride. And my big breaks are riding the airplane. And I fly back and forth, and I sometimes cram in 3 movies and some TV series. And then I'd come home to Vashon Island and just collapse face down on the bed to just recover. And the thing I think of is similar feeling that I had with my mother is that I know these energetic techniques and I could, do these things to change her health and to change the timeline and all this sort of stuff. And the same thing can happen now with New York. And it doesn't work when I am consciously trying to manipulate things. Things often work better when I completely let go, and then it is all developing on a higher level. So the interesting thing is my mother was an infinite being. Her Alzheimer's self didn't remember she had Alzheimer's or cancer, so she was just happy as a clam. When she was on hospice, she had people visiting her, didn't know why. And the other thing is that she took a really long time on hospice, about a year. It was kind of like a pregnant woman that didn't know her due date, was taking her own damn time. And I was just there to midwife her spirit. And the journey now with my brother and sister-in-law, it's been really interesting. My sister-in-law is a very capable creator, very persistent. She almost died the first year, then went from chemo just being palliative therapy to her actually getting about a 9-month break, watch and wait. And then when something else came up in a lymph node, it got defined as chronic. So apparently nowadays there's chronic breast cancer, which can come and go. So I think that's a really interesting transformation from being something that they never said, but was considered fatal. The thing I notice is as I operate as consciousness, I can let go of things because I know I'm creating the bigger picture as consciousness. And in letting go, then unexpected things can happen and things can shift and change outside of the limitations of my mind. Notice for yourself, if you take a break to consciously not create and just kind of go with the flow, amazing things can happen. And often things you've been trying to manifest for years will start to automatically happen because you've let go of it. So if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and on your social media. And also please click the like button and subscribe. And that way it tells YouTube to share it far and wide and get it in front of somebody who really needs to see this information. And if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. And that's a way of having a consciousness eyes view of what's going on in your life. And if you want some manifestation techniques, Manifesting Money and Miracles is my self-study course where you learn specific energy techniques that can create tremendous changes in your world. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. There you can learn all about my individual sessions where I take a look at you as consciousness and what's going on in your life today. And I can answer any questions that you might have, whether it's about what's coming up in your future, what's going on in relationships, things to do with your work, your finances. I can also talk to your deceased loved ones, and it's all recorded just for you. And if you want to know how to do this for yourself, and that is navigate your life as consciousness, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special where I work with you one-on-one and give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.